Well, hi, everyone. I'm Maggie Mongan of Brilliant Breakthroughs, Inc. And today I have the honor and the pleasure of interviewing Dr. Beatriz Olson, who is committed to sharing her life experiences and wisdom to support others in their wellness transformation. Her book is titled Mind Body Secrets, and perhaps more importantly, is the subtitle, which is A Medical Doctor's Spiritual and Scientific Guide to Wellness. Now, it's really important for you to know who Dr. Beatrice is because she's an expert in women's endocrine health and she uses mind body techniques and is an integrative medicine physician. She has cared for 6,000 women for more than 3 decades. Dr. Beatrice, before we begin, could you just please share with us what is meant when we say endocrine and integrative?
Right. Thank you, Maggie. Thank you for having me and creating this for us. Endocrine is the study of little molecules that travel all over your body and give signals to all of the cells in the body. So endocrine is the study of hormones. Hormones are these molecules that give important information that actually allow the body to work well. For example, your thyroid hormone comes from the thyroid, but the signaling to that comes from the pituitary. And the thyroid hormone allows for the energy, for your tissues to sense energy and to work at a certain rate. So thyroid is very, very important. Your ovaries, if you're a woman, make estrogen. That estrogen allows for breasts to develop, for hips to develop, and for changes of the hormones that happen in our menstrual cycles every month, which allow us to be fertile at some point and create the next generation. So hormones are responsible for that. Equally, testosterone, both in men and women, create desire and energy. So desire for another in a sexual way comes from the presence of testosterone in us. In addition to our beautiful personalities that can attract each other, there's definitely a hormonal component to that. And for example, insulin is a key hormone in the body that comes from the pancreas and regulates how we manage our nutrition and our metabolism. So all of these hormones work at different places at different times. Some come out at night, sometimes some of them come out in the morning, like testosterone and cortisol. And it's the rhythm of these hormones night and day that allow us to be present, sensual, alive, and bring the juice of us to the world. So when hormones are not working well, people don't feel well. And usually this could be because you're missing them. Something has happened to the gland that produced the hormone that is not working anymore. Or sometimes we produce too much hormones, and too much hormones can cause different and negative problems. So too little is bad, too much is bad. So my job is to bring it back to the middle and make it normal. So that's the specialty of endocrinology. And I love that. And it's actually a field that has, for me, turned out to be the work of tending for women, because 80 to 90% of endocrine disease happens to women, amazingly.
Oh, my.
So that's how it works out that I do this work. In terms of what is integrative medicine, it is a unique combination. It's a commitment and a way of practicing medicine that combines the conventional medicine skills that I acquired through medical school and through all of this incredible education that I have had. But also I have had an equally 25, 27 years of learning about healing traditions from other cultures that have equally helped people transform themselves and heal. So I combine all of these wise wisdoms from all of these learnings and different places. I combine psychological work that is so crucial to our well-being. And through that, we can identify, is there a physical problem that I can fix? Is there a combination of a physical and a psychological problem? Is each one bouncing and causing the other? That's the mind-body integration that I talk about in the book. And often it's issues of the soul, distress of the soul, sadness, or lack of connection, feeling lonely, feeling that we're not valued, feeling disconnected from the world, from people that we love. All of those things combined to create a sense of how we feel and how physically we express ourselves in the world. And my job is to put it all together, because if we're not well in the mind, the hormones are not going to be okay in the body, and vice versa. So it's through fixing those that we come to balance.
Well, that was easy to understand. Thank you for sharing. And I really appreciate the fact that even though this is our 4th out of 5 videos, every time we address what is endocrine and what is integrative, you share a different slice of it with us. So thank you. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Here we are. We're ready for today's question. Dr. Beatriz, could you share a little bit more with us about the book overall?
So
it's a simple little question.
Maggie, how can I make this so digestible?
I don't know.
Well, let me tell you something. I am so utterly excited about this book that I am besides myself. It's almost like having a baby. Perhaps, maybe not quite like having a baby, because, you know, babies are so special. And I had 2 of them. But I would say that it was like creating a journey. And the book is divided in 3 parts, actually, because I'm an integrative endocrinologist. So the first part of the book has to do with the mind. The second part of the book has to do with the body. And the third part has to do with tending the soul and spirit. So what I recognized was that we all need to understand that if we have a good understanding of the mind, then we can do anything we want to.
Okay.
But
I agree with that.
If we don't get a grip of our minds, then we are driven to act and behave and respond in ways that sometimes don't serve us, because it's younger parts of us that are acting out their resentments, their disappointments, their choices, their lack thereof. So we behave in ways that are not helpful to us. You may want to, for example, lose weight, and you try hard, but it turns out that, in fact, at some deep level, losing weight is scary for you. Because when you look different or were thinner, some bad things happen to you. And perhaps you gained weight because you wanted to protect yourself. So there's an inside part that you may want to lose weight, but a part of you doesn't, and will sabotage your efforts. So how do we understand that? How can we do that? The other concept is the fact that if we are so stressed out, we become monkey-minded. So in fact, we can't access our conscious, more advanced brain to reach our creativity, our choice making, our decisions. So you have to understand how the mind works and how to integrate it, how to connect yourself to it, being present, embodied in your body to make good decisions and respond wisely rather than react. That's the first part of the book, because if we get a grip of that and I teach the skills of how to do that, then we go to the second step, which is how to understand the body. A lot of people think that the advice we get on television is good. That processed foods, all of that sugared stuff is good for us. And in fact, we use it to tend our emotions and and some of this food is addictive. So we keep eating it because we keep seeking it because we are monkey-minded and developed. We have an ancestral brain that was developed to survive in scarcity and to survive famines. So it always wants to seek food and have it so we have enough energy in case of a famine. We're going to survive. But what happens is that we live in an industrialized world and there are no famines about to happen. We have food abundance around us. And even though we might be 200 pounds and wanting to lose weight, our brain is telling us, oh my God, you want this. You crave this now. You must have it. And the ancestral drive to have, despite whatever is happening, doesn't go away. And you have to be able to know about it, recognize it, and work with it in a different way. So that's part of understanding the body, the right nutrition for the body, and understanding how your digestive system works and how to tend it, how to tend those beautiful little bacteria inside of you that can actually create good mood, can actually make you feel happy, can make you energetic, can make your vitamins for you. There's so many things that people just don't know, and it's just not taught anymore. And I created this book to talk about the body in a way that a high schooler can read this book and understand it. So that's part of it. I also talk about the night and day cycle, the circadian cycle, exercise, why it matters, why sleep matters, and putting it all together because it changes how we age. We have a choice about how we age. And we can do this if we follow and if we do the right things, if we deal with the needs of our body, our ancestral needs, instead of getting distracted and being elsewhere. And the last part of my book is about the importance of the outer family. We talked about how inner little parts of us at the beginning, our inner family guides the behavior that we do. We have an outer family that also made the buttons and push our buttons that trigger us. So how do we learn to deal with the outer family so that as we change, as we evolve into a healthier being in many domains of our lives, in our health, in our love, in our relationships, in our prosperity, how can we deal with those around us so that we engage them in our process rather than activating their reactions on our own to their reactions that set us back and prevent us from moving forwards? And lastly, I talk about the spirit and about the soul, how I see spirit energy imbuing our lives, and how I feel that the combination of connecting to spirituality, I'm not talking about religiosity, I'm talking about the ability to question why we exist, why we matter, why are we here? Mm-hmm. And then searching further to identify what is it that we value, what gives us dignity, how can we grow in our soulfulness to create a better world and to leave a legacy of being remembered by others, by how we were. That's what this book is about. It's about integrating all of the aspects that create a whole human being that came to live in this world and make a difference.
Well, Dr. Beatriz, you are full of wisdom and have such a unique approach to transformation. Most people will focus on one part of the three that you do. So I want to thank you for that, because as I had the opportunity to read your book, I was surprised because I can't pick which one of the three, the mind, the body, or the spirit and soul, is more important for people to focus on, because they are all equally important as it is us. and we are not simple beings. We are complex. Thus, the integrative is the requirement. So thank you for taking the time, and you said over 20 years to develop this book, and having the courage to finally do it. So thank you, because we will all win by your work.
Thank you, Maggie. I so appreciate your words. Thank you.
And thank you for this sharing. You are exceptional. And I would like everyone to know that this is the 4th out of 5 videos in the Get to Know the Author, Dr. Beatriz Olson series. So go to beatrizolson.com, and I will spell that BeatrizOlson.com to learn more about the amazing Dr. Beatriz and her book, Mind Body Secrets. Thank you.
Thank you, Maggie.